Welcome back, everybody. This is what session are we now? This is session 5. Oh yeah, session 5. On the tide. So we're gonna pick our characters up. We're gonna say the next morning. You guys have been um, in port at Four Point on the Vitruvian continent. I'll say for probably about 48 hours at this point. Um, your first errand of business you'd taken care of was a few new sacks of coal for the ship's blacksmith. You guys were jumped in a filthy alleyway by some inbred and horrible, dastardly brigands, but you were able to quite brutally murder these ruffians. Well done with that. And you've come back to the ship, and I suppose the cockerel crows somewhere in the harbor, and you rouse yourselves. Let's actually go down the line, and because we took a bit of a break here, let's go ahead, introduce our characters and describe them. How about Silas? Start us off here.
Well, Silas will get up from his position in the hammock there. I think he was in the hammock. I can't remember. If I was laying under the bed or if I was. Anyways, Silas gets up.
You're in the hammock. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I get out of the hammock and I stretch what I can stretch in our luxurious abode we have, very, very spacious. And I will tiptoe over anything on the floor, anyone. And Silas is roughly 6 foot. He is very lean, almost very like sinewy. He's not like rail thin, but he has more muscle than fat on him. He's very, very just skeletal like, I guess, but not in a unhealthy way. Maybe a little malnourished, I mean, seafood isn't the best, out here with your pickles and eggs and stuff. He has long, raven black hair that he has taken to putting into a ponytail now to keep the matted hair off of his neck and keep him cool because the weather has taken a turn for the sunny side. He is a Atayan. He normally is wearing furs and animal hides, but he has taken to wearing as little as possible in the heat, armor-wise. The underclothing and stuff is a thing of the past. He will have his 2 katars at his side as punching daggers, and he will stretch and kick and rouse his roommate and get the day started.
Well done. Garanus has his own cabin, being the blacksmith, which is obviously, it's not a walk-in closet, but your room also doubles as a storeroom, so make of that however you wish.
He sleeps in the same room he stores his coal in, and his basically it's the storeroom for the forge. So he'll wake it. He's a very large arborean. Has skin that it's a pale, almost white gray with streaks of black, almost like you would see with like an ash tree. His hair is a black that sort of matches the streaks there, and occasionally he has a couple of flecks of gray in it, not very much though. It doesn't look like the kind of gray that a person of age would have. It's just sort of like maybe a continuation of his skin color. It's sort of hard to tell exactly because he keeps his hair tied back in a braid running down his back to about midway. He has the braid itself is fastened with fastened with a bronze ring at the base of his skull. He gets up and stretches. He's a very broad Arborian, broader than the average guy. He's a very muscled fellow, obviously from the time at the forge and such. And in the case of dealing mostly with bronze, beating cold metal, because that's how you temper bronze, is you beat it into shape. Pulls on his trousers, throws his shirt over his body. Belts his sword onto his hip, because Arborian is never unarmed, no matter where he goes. And he heads up to the deck to see what needs to be fixed today, what those crazy blind Italians have broken on this ship.
Aethelridge, as you are, since our late companion Hannah has passed away and was given a burial at sea, your small walk-in closet is ever so slightly more luxurious, with only 2 individuals as opposed to 3. Were you sleeping on the cot with the mystery stain, or were you sleeping on the floor?
Aethelridge is definitely not going to be sleeping with mysterious soaking wet spots and stains. He doesn't know, and he doesn't want to know what that is. So he is keeping his slightly less, as far as physical size, self away from that. But he's still kind of a big guy. He's not quite the same size as Goranis, so he's just big. But where Goranis and some of the other Arborians are kind of lighter in color for their woodish skin, he's a very dark, black oak kind of look. Actually, pretty recently, with some of the fights that they've had, he's gotten some scars from some of the weapons that have actually, for a lot of people, it might have looked a bit off-putting, but somehow it seems to work for him. He looks a bit more attractive, a bit more kind of that rakishly devilish good looks that the scars kind of add to that. So,
well done. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off, or no? All right. So the rest of the crew is rousing themselves against that first blush of dawn, going about their day. 4 Point is a port that is commonly used as a resupply before you guys head up into the farther flung seas, and you find yourselves in the more tropical and humid archipelagos of the far north, and foreign lands closer to the desert continent. The captain has deemed it necessary to give the crew perhaps a couple days of shore leave in this foreign port, as he believes that his crew is kind of like the biggest and baddest, the scariest group of pirates in this port currently. So he's confident that the local brigands aren't going to give them too much trouble. So you guys are kind of given free rein to do with what you will. If you plan to whore and wench those next 2 to 3 days away, there's plenty of brothels to do such in. But the pleasures of this foreign city, mostly inhabited by mixed race individuals, as well as the lizard people and the fire fae, the Igniads here. All of these pleasures are open to you at this time. So, as the three of you kind of mount this deck, you guys see the captain speaking with Zakiti, and she's kind of got a bounce in her stride. She's probably in a little bit better of a mood than normal, what you'd see. I mean, she's normally quite bouncy, however, aloof and maybe higher status than the rest of you, but she's a bit extra peppy. Braylon is speaking to the quartermaster, Brom, and you see Bruna is the ship's cook, is actually going off into the marketplace now with a couple of her companions. So the day kind of opens up to you. To the north and to the west, you see a tropical storm brewing off the coast. So in this early morning light here, that thunderstorm and that curtain of rain that you see almost kind of gives it somewhat of a tropical beauty to this place. How do you guys wish to proceed?
I'm going to go talk to the quartermaster and ask for pay.
Exactly what I was thinking. Good man. I'm following him.
Well, that makes 3.
Queue up, lads. Queue up.
Mhm.
So yeah, Brom is sitting at, or he's not sitting at this time, but they've kind of set up a desk. Him, Braylon, and a couple of the other lads are conversing. Actually, as you said about pay, Brom shoots you guys a look with that put out eye of his. He says, "I suppose you lads will be wanting to leave us for a time. You need your money, huh?
Yes.
Kind of poking you with a bit of sarcasm here. I was like, all right, leeches, I suppose. Excuse me, I thought the three of you were working for free on this voyage." And as he sits down, wasn't that right?
I tilt my head to the left and look at him, and I say, if we're all working for free, but last I heard, we all share alike, he sort of, in a way, looks over toward Etheridge, but he has a smile on his face when he does. It's very obvious. He looks down.
Raylan just smirks and goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" He just walks off. I'm not dealing with this.
He looks. Get back over here. I need to pay for a blacksmith and 2 apprentices.
Apprentices? Oh.
They carried the coal. They deserve it.
Well, Braylon leaves. That's not his station to deal with. He's got more administrative things to deal with here. Now, so yeah, Brom sits down at his desk, goes over some papers, pulls out a ledger, makes a couple notes, and he's like, all right. Writes down your names, takes down the date, and goes into a coffer, and then takes out a couple sacks. Well, three sacks of money. So he counts out your coin for you, and he'll give you each 12.5 silver for it, 12.5 coin.
Okay.
He goes, "Don't spend it all in one place now."
Of course not.
As you guys were the first in line to do this, as the rest of the crew is queuing up behind you, you guys file off the ship.
I get down to the bottom and turn back to the 2 of these guys, and I look specifically at Etheridge, and I say, "You've got fire, passion. You're not afraid of a fight. I like that." He looks around a little bit, says, "Don't get us in trouble today, though." And You'll be learning blacksmithing when we get back. He turns and walks away. He says, I need somebody who can actually understand what I tell them.
So are you three dispersing into the city, or are we? What are we doing here?
Well, I think Aethelridge would at least kind of laugh and chuckle a little bit at the job offer, and I think he'd probably take it, if only because he's going, whatever else, learning how to take care of equipment is a good thing. But since he doesn't know anything at all about smith work at the moment, I think he would ask if Granis would be willing to help him find a quality helm.
You want a quality helm? I'll tell you what. If you want to, we'll head in the market. We'll get the materials. We'll make you a quality helm. That way you know it's right.
Aethelridge would be good with that.
And that's where we'll start. He looks over at Silas and say, you in?
I need new armor, so I'm in.
We can get that stuff too then.
Awesome. A shopping trip. Yeah.
With that, Granis is going to look over, going to head up. Actually, he's going to look for a wharf kid. The ones that are usually always hanging around the wharfs and such.
A street urchin?
Hell yeah. Street urchin.
All right. There's plenty of those. Let's see here. It's probably not a good thing to say. I'm sorry. So there's a lot of fucking homeless people here.
Well, I'm just. Is there by chance a bearded folk child about? So.
You know what? Yes. He sticks out like a sore thumb, and his beard is. Yes, this child has a goddamn beard.
They're born with them. I'm sure.
Yeah, right. They come out with a full head and a full beard.
Okay.
His beard, oh god, this child is maybe if you could compare him to a human, he's maybe 14 years old. And this kid has a beard down to like the middle of his chest. So it's a kid beard. So picture that in your mind.
A little stubble.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
a little stubble.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go, Keith. Thank you. Yeah, he's maybe 3 feet tall max.
Okay.
Small, but still, as bearded folk go,
Tall for his age.
Very broad.
Okay. I'll walk over to the kid, stand about 6 feet away, and say, hey, kid, we make some coin today?
He just stares up at you, the giant that you are. Like maybe 3 drops of pee come out with the look on his face. He just stares at you wide-eyed. And
have you been struck dumb, child? Do you want to make some coin today? So as he leans forward a little bit,
he just stutters and says, yes.
He reaches
broken Feywise as possible here.
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the half coin, which I'm assuming is literally a half silver coin.
No, it's at that point it's copper.
Okay, so he has a handful of copper then, I guess.
There you go.
He'll pull out 10 copper or so, and hold down this kid and says, "I need a guide."
He's like very tentatively reaches up for the coin. Where do you want to go?
Take me to the place where they have the the materials for smithing.
Oh, he kind of gets his face kind of lights up. He takes the money from him. He goes, "All right, well, That's over this here. It's over here.
Follow him over there.
It's not very far away, and he takes you like maybe 2 blocks away and around the corner. And there.
As we're walking along, I look over at the guys and say, it's always good if you're in a port you don't know about, and if you don't know where you're going, to get a local guide, because they'll do one or two things. It'll lead you to a fight, which is always fun. It'll lead you where you want to go.
And what language do you say that in?
I'm saying that in the Evan tongue.
Oh, okay. So this is the kid.
I'm assuming short guy can't speak either Feywise or Urundese or Rundanese.
No. Only Arborians speak Rundanese.
Right.
No one else can actually learn that. No, he doesn't. He doesn't speak the trade language, which might be odd because bearded folk aren't from this continent. He's probably born here. This kid is kind of wearing what looks to be like a kilt if it was made out of like a ratty towel and has basically become rags, and that's it. He's got like a half a broken dagger like stuffed into the girdle of his loincloth there. He brings you to the sound of the hammer on the anvil, and he says, well, if you like redskin metal, then I suppose this'll work.
Take a look at it. What am I looking at?
You're looking at a plaza here that has about 6 or 8 smiths along both sides, and kind of like a central communal fountain where everyone's getting their water to quench everything from. There's a lot of steam here as everything is being quenched all at once. It may or may not be rather refreshing with that tropical storm wind coming up the way. And most of these smiths are igniads, which igniads give off quite a bit of body heat too. And you do see a couple lizard folk here. These soul you. The smiths, and none of you have seen these guys before, but think of like a 6-foot tall lizard man with feather plumage around their heads, like a lion's mane. Many of the males are more red or orange or possibly yellow spotted, but they take to smithing very nicely. You see a bunch of slaves working to unload some carts and some sledge wagons here. That's the scene for you.
Okay. I'm gonna do a smithing roll real quick. I'm looking for what I consider to be probably the best person there. So I will tell you this: I'm not going to find him.
Oh my God!
Because I rolled double ones.
Yeah. You don't know shit. Yeah.
So
their eyes are closed and everything.
So their techniques seem to be just completely different from what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, it's completely alien.
So yeah, Granis goes to say something like he's going to like expound on something, and he just goes quiet for a second, tilts his head, and looks around. This is odd.
What you do see when you do look around, Garanis sees a small domovoy actually sitting on the edge of one of these anvils. A small, like, I suppose Tinkerbell-sized fairy that looks like it's made of fire or magma.
Okay. He'll mutter a small prayer to his god. Which is where I have him written down at.
Doesn't he worship the Forge Lord?
No. He worships. I can find my paper. I have it down. Right here.
Shame he does not have his.
I know.
God.
He whispers a bit of a prayer under his breath. Maybe it look too loud. And because when he sees a domovoy, he doesn't realize, because it's double ones, it's a domovoy.
Yeah.
He thinks it's something else. so he's a little, this little odd at it. So we'll go over here somewhere where they aren't. So here we are.
All right.
So
So the kid is already buggered off at this point.
okay,
Paid
that's
him.
fine. That's fine. So yeah, he goes over one of the other smiths and walks up and starts looking at some of the wares they have out there. And he says, "Hey, Smith," or actually probably calls it to one of the apprentices. And he says,
You call over one of the younger Fire Fae here.
"Okay, you get a price on some of your raw materials, some tin, some copper, the usual."
This kid is a young girl who is, I suppose, she's naked to the waist, save for a skirt, and she just looks up at you, kind of dumbfounded, and she just points to one of the older Fae in a shop nearby, and she doesn't say anything to you.
Okay, I'll walk
Besides
over there.
giving you a rather quizzical look there. The you assume the blacksmith there,
Mhm.
the older one looks over and he addresses you in the trade language, and he goes, "She does not speak your language. What is it that you need?"
Oh, sorry about that. I need some materials, some copper and some tin. I'm teaching these young fellas here how to forge power bronze.
Oh, all right, fair enough. How much?
It's around there.
I'm assuming you're walking into his little.
Oh yeah.
There. Okay.
I walk in there, take a look around here real quick. Not double ones this time. With a 14, given the basic amount I think we would need for a helm and looking at the other smaller fellow over there, Silas, and enough for basically probably like a lamellar vest for this fella, body protection. So say probably about 4 pounds of tin, 4 pounds of copper for the helm, and twice that for the body, and then another 10 pounds for just incidental stuff in our ship, of course. So resupply our stock.
All right. So he goes ahead and tallies the rest of that up for you. He kind of brings you over to an abacus nearby.
That's interesting. Never seen one of those.
He tallies this up and he writes down on kind of a somewhat damp clay tablet nearby. He says, that'll be 41 coins for the lot there.
41 coins for the lot, huh? Now let's see here. How about if I cut a deal with you? Because 41's a little expensive. I mean, that's raw materials. I could actually buy a helm and a breastplate for that.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, but I'm doing the work, so that part's not part of the deal, Since you're not actually doing the work, I'm not going to pay you for doing the work.
Yes, but you're taking my materials I could be making the same amount of money with. He cocks a red eyebrow at you. So, what do you want?
Fine. I see there's no honor among thieves, and I turn and say, guys, let's leave. This guy's going to return us off.
He smirks as you guys leave that plaza. You guys see yourselves out to the main thoroughfare there, and the storm is about 2 hours off of the coast. It looks like it's moving in somewhat of a parallel direction to you.
Don't worry, fellas. We'll get that materials. That's not a problem. Maybe what we need to do. Let's see here. Actually, you know what we can do. Let's go slink around the back alleys for a few on our way to a pub or something. What do you think?
Etheridge would be good with finding a pub and seeing if anybody else knows who or where we might get more reasonably priced goods.
Silas liked back alleys, so he's good for that too.
Okay.
You have one vote for pubs, one vote for back alleys. I think this is a good deal.
Well, we can get to the pub to a back alley, I'm sure.
And then everyone's happy. Well done.
What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I'll head toward a back alley then, off the side, and follow the sounds of revelry. Hopefully, when we get there.
All right. It won't take you long to find many of the one of the many taverns here. But the back alleys are kind of a rat infested, kind of a sand pit kind of an affair here. A lot of people throw their refuse into these back alleys, and you see a lot of homeless beggars and maybe a couple brigands in there. But at least on this trip, no one gives you too much trouble outside, like maybe weird looks because you're foreigners, or you can assume that they're going to give you weird looks because you're foreigners.
We come out of the alley. I sort of look back and sort of sigh, almost like I missed something. Like no one decided to jump us so we could take their stuff. Oh well, drinking it is.
Well, don't forget we can always find opportunities to enjoy revelry of different kinds, even if we have to make those opportunities ourselves.
That's true. That is true. Anyway, let's go up passes for some ale around here. Getting thirsty.
What passes for ale over here is the many wines that the Fire Fae actually brew. They don't have much in the hard stuff here. But a glass, I suppose a glass, and you keep that coming, really a silver per glass there.
How much would a bottle be?
A bottle?
Or a jug if they use pottery jugs.
Oh, a jug, like a cask. I'd say 10, maybe.
Okay.
10.
I asked the where we go in there if they could throw some food in for that 10. If I throw them some copper along with it.
Well, they bring you kind of a meat and a cheese and bread plate there, but
Okay.
that'll be about it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do that. Get a cask. So
Etheridge will chip in for that.
Yes, I also throw some in too.
Oh, okay, well then you can probably get yourself kind of a meat, cheese, and bread platter. Maybe get you some fruit going. You have your guys a little picnic at this.
yeah.
I'll throw in 2 silver. Big spender.
Oh, well then if that's the case, then you guys are eating rather well this evening.
Okay, that'll work. I'll pitch for the cask of wine, and I say as I pour it out, I say this is for taking the brunt of the attack yesterday. I owe you thanks.
Well, it would far be it for me to leave a companion, and Etheridge will slip him 2 silver as well.
So we'll be eating very well. Kick back, and he throws the first glass back as if he was a person who's been in the desert for days and first sight sees water. He fills his cup again, takes a sip out of that one, sits down.
And a creepy door opened and closed somewhere.
Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're
That's our pantry. It does that really funny noise. So yeah, we hey, Melissa's up. We I asked the guys, hey, what tell me about yourselves.
Silas is just, he's savoring the wine and he's savoring the food. He's not, rushing anything, and he'll just sit there and, take off a pinch of bread here and take a little sip there. And he's like, I'm Italian from a swamp. Not much else to tell, really.
Yeah, but that's every Italian. There's something different about you. Why in the world would you cut a heart out of a person you just killed?
Sacrifice to my goddess.
Okay, who's your goddess?
Silas just he just looks at the wine, a little bit, just stares at it. And he takes a sip of it, and he's, I worship Malgora.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. So, I myself worship Arithel. So, a little different from most Arborians I know. They all like Lekra this, Lekra that.
because she is the goddess of ass beatings and taking names. God damn it!
No, she's the goddess of storms.
And
Arthel's the god. Well, Arthel is the Arthel is the deity of physicians in battle, though. Actual battle, not just destruction.
You have picked a religious debate to the few other Arborian pirates across the way, and they have heard you spout these horrible heresies about Lekra, and they say, without Lekra, Arithel would just be a saint to have died on the battlefield. She is the goddess of beatings.
Yeah. She's also the goddess of dishing it out, too.
Of course.
So he cracks his knuckles, looks over at Aethelridge and Silas with a sort of a subdued grin. He says, I didn't give me any yesterday. He stands up. He stands up and rolls his shoulders, making them pop like only a blacksmith can do, filling up that entire corner of the room. And he looks at the fellow and he says, Lekra is the one who is the patron of our people. Yes, she's great. She's wonderful. But she is nowhere near the warrior of Arithel that Arithel is.
How dare you? As these four dudes stand up real fucking slow.
Aethelridge would also kind of stand up and would be like, but my brothers, do you not also know the glories of Amemnon, who gives us wealth and gold?
No one cares about the god who dwells in the caves and with gold mines. Be gone with him.
Of course, because, naturally you would not have any value for your money and were therefore more than willing to simply hand it over to those of us who know its true purpose. And would reach out, just, palm up, like hand it over.
Yeah. Grannis sort of rolls his neck a little bit, making that neck pop just a bit. Sort of motions down towards Silas and says, he takes hearts for his god. What do you take for Lekra? He grins.
Heads.
An ass whooping, probably.
Limbs.
As he just said, probably an ass whooping.
Silas will just drink what's left of his wine and get up and slowly unsheath his guitar and is like, I don't waste my ability on fist fights. If I'm going to fight, I'm going to draw blood and take a life. So if you're going to keep doing this, one of you, or maybe all of you, are going to end up dead on the floor tonight. It's your choice.
Wow.
Oh shit.
And
Hey,
with
Grant,
that, Aethelridge is going to
Grant,
grab his axe because it's definitely getting in there.
here. Hang on, Grant. Roll me a persuade here. I want to see how well that intimidation.
Oh, Jesus. All right, dude, let's do this. This is going to be so good.
You do have a fate point, by the way,
Oh.
if you really want to use it.
So that is a 11.
Oh, all right. Oh my god. Oh, the time I wish I had a fucking webcam for you guys. I'm gonna send this to you. I have to. I really do. This is gonna be great. Hey Grant, incoming.
Oh, jeez. Oh, how horrible is it? It's double H, double ones. I was double ones.
So what happens? These pirates, these Arborian Corsairs, they are, couple of them got they got scars. They looks like some really rough and tumble dudes. But they well armed, fit, good fighting men, and their superstition gets the better of them when Silas lays down some shit here, and they notice he's got a blindfold on, and they heard they've heard some whisperings and some talk about the Ateans and what they do to people in their tribal homeland. So they think better of it, completely ignoring the rest of you two, the other two. They're like, all right, lads, let's leave the headhunter and his companions alone. They're allowed to have their way. They leave.
Pity.
I look over at Silas with a good bit of respect. Damn well done. Flop back down in the chair. I'm liking you more and more.
I thought they were made of sterner stuff. My blades are thirsty. And I just sheath my daggers, sit back down, pour me some more wine.
Yeah, sure.
I kind of and this is just me as the narrator, I kind of see Silas having kind of like holsters on his hips.
Yep, he does on each side. That's what he does. He pulls out his.
So like he'll be sitting in a tavern with his feet up on the table and like Han Solo.
Literally Han Solo. He just pulls it out and like shank you with his dagger.
The blaster from his holster. I just saw that in my head and I went, oh no, they're gonna dip out. Nice.
Or they could have rolled double eights and with the ballroom blitz and we all get fucked. I mean, they could have went either way.
Oh yeah, of course. So a few moments of a stunned silence from the Festival of Nations here. This group of mixed race patrons kind of like hangs a good 3-4 minutes, and then the conversations resume. Couple of the barmaids come back over to refill Silas's wine glass with a bit more higher quality things, we'll say. You've caught the eye of possibly some of the girls here. And with that, what do you guys wish to do now?
So, yeah, I look over Silas and say, you can keep your secrets. Aethelridge, what's your story?
I grew up a raider. Raiding is what I know. Taking that which is others and making it my own. It's the true way, the best way, the noble way. And you know what they say, what's mine is mine and what's yours is negotiable.
Well, since you're both sharing I was once known as Grannis of Blackthorn. It's a mighty house in Arborea once, but a few battles lost, few assassinations carried out by rivals, and next thing you know, the house vanishes. That's what I wanted to see.
If you are still alive, then the house still lives on, does it not?
It does. It does in a way. I was not of high enough noble lineage to assume the title of Lord of the House, and all those who were, well, they fell to the blade or to the brew.
I wanted more than the superstitious isolation that my people had. They were ignorant and scared, so I sold out a rival clan to some slavers to get passage. That's how I became a Felport, and I seek to see the world and to sacrifice as many as I can to Malgora to ease her suffering and to ply my trade.
Aetheridge would kind of pause in his drinking and glass halfway up and tell me, Silas, I'm curious, how does the sacrificing of others aid Malgora?
She suffers greatly, and if I can sacrifice their life essence in her name, maybe their life can ease the suffering that she has. I hope that with every drop of blood I spill, every beating heart I cut out, that she will get some measure of comfort, that some of her suffering will be eased.
Sounds like a very painful existence for your god. Mine, at least, yes, she fell in battle once in the name of Lekra, but she was risen up by those who saw her fall, who saw the great battles she led, and the way that she over and over again won against impossible odds. And not only that, in the process, she was known to heal those who which is okay. But she was known to she actually had more people come through alive than any other leader in history. Thus, both physicians and soldiers prayed to her.
I'm a pious man, but I must confess that the sacrifices are more selfish than that. There's nothing more exciting in this world than seeing the life drain from your foe right before your eyes, feeling their lifeblood splatter against your face, hearing the last beats of their heart as you sink your blades deep inside of them. There's nothing quite like it. I enjoy my trade. I enjoy taking lives.
Speaking of honoring and I do need to see if there is a temple to Amimnon in the city. I wish to pay my respects.
I actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave that up to you. I was gonna give you a little bit of information regarding that, but nah, you ask him in character here.
Yeah, Aethelridge would summon one of the barmaids and would ask if there was a temple to Memnon nearby or in the city, and how to make his way there if there is one. And would probably flash a couple of copper coins as incentive.
One of the younger girls tells you that there is indeed a not a temple but a shrine to Amemnon outside the city in a cave just off of the road. It's not far, maybe an hour or so on the road, and you'd be there and back.
Aethelridge would look to his companions and see if they wished to accompany him after we finished drinking.
Certainly.
How long do you guys stay in the tavern? Well, let me ask you that.
Oh.
And this is how long have you been drinking?
Well, we've probably been drinking maybe 30 minutes or so.
Right.
I'm going to sort of step up over the door and look outside. And how close is that? How close is that storm getting to us?
I guess since you guys have been here and maybe a half hour, hour and 40, hour and 50 minutes, just shy to.
We might be able to make it out there and back if we leave now. So, okay.
I'll follow you.
See, I'll literally say out loud, we might make it there and back now if we leave now, but that storm's going to be on us in just shy of 2 hours.
Then let us go forth. And Aethelridge would hand the waitress probably about 10 copper. I mean, not a lot, just put something.
A small handful.
Okay. Gonna walk over and hook the ring of the jar. Take a throw it on the back of my hand. Take a drink out of it, and throw additional silver on the table and take it with me.
Oh, you're gonna take the cask with you? Oh,
well, yeah, that's why I threw another silver down.
Oh, okay. You'd pay for the thing too. You know, these are like cooperative grocery stores. You got to put a payment down on that glass jar. You know, do you guys have that down there in the barbarian homeland of the South? Ha 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 ha.
No,
I'm sorry.
Actually, we don't.
Oh shit! Really? Oh wow.
Don't really have that very much.
No, that's a thing up here in the up in the north.
That's sort of cool.
You get like artisanal milk in a glass jug. That's like $5.50, and then it's like $3.50 for the goddamn glass.
Yeah, okay. We do have. There are a couple. There are a couple of dairies that will do that down here. But it's not real common anymore, like it used to be.
Okay. See, I was making a joke, but that joke totally fell flat. All right. Anyway.
Weird cultural stuff.
I know. God, Jesus Christ. It's not like I'm an anthropologist at all. No, as you guys are filing out, you guys kind of feel that warm yet cool humid like storm breeze kind of coming up, and you kind of feel the electrons like in your fingertips and the tips of your toes. As Aethelridge is leaving, as you're the last one out, that same waitress comes back up to you, that serving girl, and she brings out a gold candle, and she asks you to if you would please take this to the shrine and light it in one of the niches for her and her family. She was not able to make a sacrifice on this day, and Amemnon is a deity who enjoys his candles. We'll put it that way.
Aethelridge would accept, and when she said her family, does that mean does it seem like she's married or?
You actually can't tell. You're not familiar with these people.
All right. Well, then Aethelridge is gonna lean over and give her a kiss right on the lips.
Are you going to? Oh, she's gonna slap the absolute shit out of you, man. Ooh, nah. She's not gonna have any of that.
Tyrannus is going to laugh uproariously. I said, fire. That's what I meant. Fire right there.
Yeah, she when she slaps you, I suppose do you leave or do you stand there?
No, he's just grabbing a kiss and going on the way. They need to go so they can get there and back before the storm.
Okay, you see her go for a dagger as soon as you're about to turn. You step off that porch, but she doesn't come after you. She oh, that's bold.
These Indians are fiery.
Right. So you guys see yourself to the edge of the city. She didn't really tell you where, but with a bit of questioning, you can ask some of the watch, and they'll point you in that direction. And like the waitress said, she, excuse me, it's about an hour on the road, and you find yourselves in this lonely crag that kind of goes down beyond this gully, which is somewhat flooded. You guys kind of walk through a bit of ankle or calf deep spring water here, going around a large stone that kind of goes down into a passageway with somewhat hewn stone steps that actually have footprints in the stones, almost as if over maybe centuries or maybe thousands of cycles, maybe thousands of people have used this holy site, and it kind of opens up into a well-lit, candle-lit gallery that has an effigy of Amemnon, which is a four-armed fae with horns who kind of like sits on a stone. It was like he has a crystal in his hand, one of his four hands. In two of the other hands that are open, there's like a bouquet of flowers, like a necklace of flowers there as well. He is draped in fine linens, almost like sashes and stuff like that. So it kind of looks like a Shiva kind of statue, but four arms as opposed to 6, 8, 12. I don't know how many arms Shiva is supposed to have, but like I said before, there is quite a few niches in the walls that are empty that you guys can take your pay your specs here with.
Yeah, Ethelridge will take out the last candle that he's got, which is, identical to the one that he was handed by the lady at the tavern. And he'll light each of them off of an already burning candle and just kind of put them into one of the niches and just kind of not deeply bowing, but bowing somewhat reverently, and kind of speak under his breath a little bit as he kind of prays and pays his respects.
A rumble of thunder kind of muffles, actually echoes muffled through the cavern here, just outside.
No disrespect, but Tyrannus motions his head toward the door. Hope this doesn't take too long.
Ethelridge would look up and be like, "Nope, I am ready to go."
All right,
time is of essence.
Lecter's pitching whatever fits in, it sounds like. Probably because I said something about her in the tavern, I bet. Anyway, he pulls his medallion out from under his shirt, has the the symbol of Veritel, just whispers a little prayer, basically saying, "Please keep her mollified for a little bit," and leads the way back out.
As you guys come out into the storm here, it is starting to rain steadily here, and the storm isn't fully upon you, but it's gonna be chucking in about 20 minutes.
Just make some time.
At least we will not have to be running in the heat.
That's true.
As you guys are making your way back through the country road there, you can see if you can possibly, I mean, if you wanted to, you can cut across a field of like hip tall grass to actually get back to one of the gatehouses quicker instead of actually having to follow the road, which might keep you out in the weather longer.
Oh, yeah. Shortest distance possible.
All right, so you guys cut across a field of young elephant grass there. A lot of the Vitruvian continent is like, I suppose, northern India. It's part tropical, it's part scrub desert. It is hot, it is humid. The monsoon season is just shit here. Which inevitably you guys are in right now, and cutting through this field, the grass is like razor blades on the exposed skin of your legs if you are exposed down there a little bit. There is, however, you kind of see the muted torchlight of the gatehouse of this city. You see a group of lancers. You see they're probably their local military here, kind of like at a canter, going through the gatehouse there, and in a flash of lightning, I will say whoever is the last one in line sees a tiger in the grass. So which one of you is going to actually see this gray cat?
Neither one of you know what this means.
I think Aethelridge might have, given that he was the one that was making the sacrifice. I think he probably would have been the last one out.
All right. I was going to say nose goes, Keith. Sucks to be you, man. But no, you see an enormous striped cat stalking you in the grass, and I need you guys to roll reactions here.
And just because I've had a long week, I want to make sure I remember correctly. It's reflexes adds to that, right?
It's premonition adds to that here. Your reaction is 2d8 plus your reaction modifier, and premonition gives you a bonus to that. How many grades of premonition do you have? Two. Oh, then yeah, that'll just be a +1 to your reaction there.
Yeah.
I got 11 actually.
Oh, okay. Garanus. What do we got? Oh,
I got a 20, so yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see you post it there. Okay. And Aethelridge got a 16. All right. So the cat pounces on Silas first. Poor bastard here. Yeah. So with a resounding feline grr, he's going to take you to the floor with a 24 on his attack. Big 600-pound animal falls on top of you.
I got a 14 on defense.
Oh yeah, so he's going to do, oh Jesus, a whopping, oh fuck, oh shit, 10 points of damage.
I'm at 6 health.
Oh shit, took you right to the quick. All right, cool.
Yeah. So
So
I just get mauled the fuck out of me, dude. Like tear a chunk of my face off, like I'm fucking.
you can describe for us how he rakes the shit out of you with his front.
Okay.
paws there.
So
You're oriented. You're facing away from him, so you landed face first on the ground. You can describe that for us.
So before Silas can even react, he feels this pressure as this gigantic thing is on top of him, and he just feels this sharp, excruciating pain rake through his back as his flesh is just peeled off, as one would peel a potato or an apple. Just the bone is exposed, and all he can do is just cry out and in pain. It shreds his armor. All he had was like was fur.
If he had armor, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, he had. It was just shitty hide fur, which is gone. So yeah, his back is completely like just this rendered flesh from bone. Like it's horrible. It's a fucking bloody mess there.
Oh damn!
I mean, he might not even be conscious anymore. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of damage to take at once, and for shock value. I mean, like your body goes into shock.
Go ahead and maybe a conditioning test. We'll see. We'll see if he actually if
he's
still with it.
1.
Oh fuck yeah! No, he passes out.
He's untrained in it, and yep. I go with a 5, so that's a -4. So
yeah, Garanus, you want to fucking save us, please?
So yeah, Garanus whips his sword out.
Oh shit!
And raises it high, attacking this thing.
And just for cinematic purposes, a lightning flash, and we see the blade in the
and that's first attack is a 26.
First attack is 26. Oh shit! All right.
He gets 2, so I'll go ahead and roll both of them here.
Ooh.
Second attack is a 15.
The first one gets through. The second one does not roll damage on the first attack.
All right. Do a whopping 9 points of damage on it.
Oh yay! 9 points damage.
Right.
Okay.
Good start.
So as soon as you rend that cat's side open there, he's going to turn all of his attention on you. Keep in mind, this is it's not a saber-tooth cat. This is a legit goddamn Bengal tiger, or I suppose the megafauna version of Earth's Bengal tiger, which is maybe the thing weighs a ton, maybe 12 feet long. Hey, it's a huge fucking animal. But yeah, that is a drop in the pool right there, ladies and gentlemen. And Aethelridge is up next. Please save Silas, please. We like him.
Yeah, Aethelridge is gonna wade in. I'm gonna see if he can get his red mist going.
Go for it.
No, 6.
6. Yeah, no, you do not find the hurricane in you at this time here. Go ahead and see about getting an attack going.
Yep, he's gonna wade in. Can I still do 2 attacks if I have the 5 ranks, or does the red mist?
Summoning the hurricane with you is counts as one of those, so you get one remaining.
Jesus.
Get him.
Yeah, a 5, 3 8s, and a 7, so that's what? 24, 29, 36 to attack?
Yeah. So I rolled a 6. That obviously does not hit. No, I'm kidding.
Right? Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
had Tiger.
roll damage, man.
For 7 points.
7 points of vitality damage. Well done. Well done. We are chipping away here. Okay, so that tiger is gonna be back up here with he's gonna have a go with double sevens. 14. That is a 17 on his attack. His first attack anyway, Keith here. And the second attack is a big whopping 5er. So we'll see.
Well, let's see. On my first attack, or first defense, rolled 8 5 times.
Of course you did.
And a 3. So, and a 1. So that was the last one. So that was what? 32, 33, 34, 35, 36.
That's 40.
40, yeah. So it's not a plus for my defense. So yeah, that was the first one.
So that shield gets in the way, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Your shield's gonna take damage, though. What's that thing?
9 on the second one, though.
Okay. What's your shield made out of?
Shield's bronze.
Durability test plus 0. Okay. Go ahead and make me a durability test real quick.
Rolled a 2.
Oh shit! Really?
Yep.
Damn. Your shield's not broken, but it's warped.
It's got a good whack into it, huh? Okay.
Ooh.
I can fix that.
That tiger's paw isn't feeling very great, but your shield certainly isn't either.
And I said the second one was what would I say, a 9?
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So what did you say on the second attack? What it was?
It was a big whopping 5.
Okay, so I actually get the second one. Okay.
You don't actually get hit this round.
Okay.
Garanus is up next if you want to attempt to counter here.
All right. I'm going to go full out on this one here because I got my shield as well. So first sword. And that's going to be a whopping 17.
Oh. God damn it. Christ in heaven. My fucking dice have hated me the past 2 sessions here.
Well, they love us. That's what it is.
No,
and then I'm going to try to hit with the shield, which is at a minus 2, isn't it?
The fact that it's damaged, so that's going to be a minus 3.
Okay.
You will risk, however, doing damage to it again. However, if you want.
That was a 7 to hit with it, so not great. And then the last sword attack.
All right.
Let's see, that is going to be an 18. No, sorry, 17.
Well, the cat lopes out of the way with the last attack. Go ahead and make another durability test for your shield here.
Okay, that was a 6. So.
That's another -1. So
okay, so it's crunched pretty good.
Here, just so we're doing this right. This doesn't come up very often.
Right.
So. What did we say here? It was minus 3 and then -1 here. Oh yeah, no, you're that's 4 durability damage total. Your shield breaks.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but the blow with the sword. Hold on. I'm not the damage for it real quick.
Yep, do it. Go for it. I don't want to skip over that.
That's gonna be 11.
11 damage. All right. That tiger isn't looking too well, and he's gonna be actually no, excuse me, scratch that. Aethelred is next.
Yep, just gonna keep swinging.
Get him.
All you got. 16 24 to hit.
Oh, wait, shit. Oh. Yes, no. Okay, damn it. You beat him by 1 point here. Go ahead and roll damage here.
Okay. And the second attack was probably not enough. 12.
Oh,
So,
wait, here, hang on.
yeah,
No, it was not.
Yeah.
So roll damage for the first.
6 more points.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that cat is actually looking pretty worse for wear here. He clearly picked the wrong group of people to ambush here. He's gonna try and be a piece of shit and make one swipe at Aethel Ridge before he dips the hell out with a 17 on his one attack.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a critical failure on my part, but that's about all I can say.
It was a 2 and a 1 on the die. Oh shit. He's gonna dig his claws into you for 6 vitality damage as he's going to disappear into the elephant grass there, kind of leaving you in a kind of a state of adrenaline, mud, and swaying grass here in the thunderstorm, which is now, like I said, chucking.
I think Aethel Ridge will look at Garanas and be like, watch my back, and just immediately drop next to Silas and take one of his prepared bandages out of his bag and try and kind of bind up the worst of the wounds, kind of try and stop the bleeding.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an apothecary test. That is going to be a difficulty of 18 for this one. He got rocked pretty fucking hard this one.
Alas, no, just 16.
Okay. You did stop the bleeding. However, that he's going to be in hospital for quite some time here. He can't walk. He is not amongst the living currently. He's not dead, but he's somewhere else.
I can carry him. I can move him. Can I move him?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Can you move him?
That's why that's right. Looking to Aethel Ridge. Can I move him and get him back to the ship?
He should be relatively stable for now, but that's about all I can say at the moment.
It's okay. He'll sheath his sword and we'll try to sling his shield across his back as best he can, or at least tie it to his back so it's not left behind.
Right.
And he scoops up Silas and sort of carries him like a kid with his arms underneath his legs and his back, and starts heading toward the ship.
Aethel Ridge will go behind them, just in case anybody else thinks that they're going to be crafty and waylay some people by stealth.
Attaboy. Go ahead and you know what? Keith, make me a streetwise test, please.
Streetwise test. Yeah. Unskilled.
There you go.
Oh, 2.
All right. Even so, you guys can make your way back to the ship relatively unscathed. It takes you about twice as long. You're not familiar here. It's raining. It's the way the Igneads build their cities. It's complete barbarism, and it's like a maze. So when you do finally get back to the ship, the crew has cleaned everything up, and in preparations for the storm, everyone is below deck, and you kind of come down into the common area. Everyone's playing cards, having a good time, drinking, that sort of thing, and you guys come in with a corpse in tow, or what seems to be a corpse in tow. um, and unfortunately, the merrymaking dies here as Brom goes, What's wrong with Silas? All drunk, he swaggers over. What's wrong with the boy?
Big ass cat.
Well, why did you leave him with the cat?
I didn't. I brought him back.
Well,
Get out of the way. I need to get him somewhere where we can get him tended to proper.
so they take a couple sacks of grain and make a kind of somewhat of a lounge for him. Like drape what's left of Silas over this this grain, this pillow bed he's got going on, face down, and he'll be ministered to, I suppose, for the rest of the evening there, as the ship is just buffeted with winds, monsoon rains. It's a party, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty great.
I'll tell him to put him in my chamber, so we keep an eye on him.
Well, I suppose they can set up a cot in there and have him lay down in the cot in your storeroom area. What are you guys going to be doing for the rest of this evening, I suppose?
So once he gets back, when I know he's not going to be dead, I'm going to go out there and, lament the fact that I left my jug somewhere, probably out there where the cat attacked us. And I'm going to
no wine for the rest of us.
I'm going to look and see if there's anything else to make here on the ship.
Oh, there's plenty to drink on the ship.
Then I'm going to start drinking it.
Are you drinking with the intent of getting drunk, or?
I'm drinking with the intent of getting drunk with Aethelridge, my new friend.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, the crew is having a kind of a heyday here, as you guys have shore leave and no one wants to be off of the ship in the storm. So, house party, hooray! And if that's the case, then I suppose we'll actually cut to the next day sometime, when Silas has awoken from his bloody stupor. Someone has been putting opium in your bandages, and that's kind of been seeping into you. So you're feeling pretty great at this point.
Silas is, he's half here, he's half not. I mean, he'll just like look around and see double and stuff, and he'll probably might just go back to sleep, just sit, like lift his head, grunt like and then just and then go back into La La Land with the opium in him.
You wake up to Zakiti combing your hair. Is the image that you wake up to.
I'm like seeing double, like
Hey.
No, like what? What's going on? Where am I? I'm guessing I can't move. I'm guessing it's excruciatingly painful to even breathe.
You have so much opium in you, you don't want to move.
I'm just like,
yeah. And someone's playing with your hair, so.
I mean, all we need now is some rope to tie me up, and we'll be good. That's what the Tayans want. So Silas is, he's feeling it. He don't know why she's combing his hair, brushing his hair, but at this point, he don't care. An elephant can come and step on him, and he wouldn't care. So he's just kind of just smiling and like looking around like he's, dopey motherfucker. Like he's not even here right now. Please leave a message.
Where is the rest of you?
Well, in proper fashion of blacksmith, after a night of hard drinking and waking up with a bit of a hangover, the only way to cure a hangover is making loud noises. So I'm beating my shield out.
You're beating your shoulder out. All right.
My shield.
Your shield out.
Yeah, I'm going to basically try to reforge the shield.
Okay. As I suppose, since you don't want the fumes below deck, that's probably going to be on the deck up in with Skyside, we'll say.
Oh yeah.
Where is Aethelridge at this point?
Aethelridge, he's supposed to be learning to be a smith, so I think he'll be probably doing his absolute best to learn by watching rather than getting in the way. He might hold it in place or something, but I mean, he'll be helping.
Yeah, I'll probably put you on tong duty to hold it steady while I'm hammering it, stuff like that.
All right. What are you guys going to be doing since we got a little bit of downtime after that tiger attack here? Yeah, fun fact. Don't leave the city. Don't. For the rest of this downtime here before you guys ship out, what are you guys going to be doing here? I suppose just that?
Silas is going to be sleeping and resting. That's all he's going to do. Not much you can do.
Once I get my shield done, I want to go probably head back into town and try to find someone who actually is a purveyor of raw materials and get the raw materials to do the helm and the breastplate basically for these two guys that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So when you go back into town,
not a blacksmith. I'm looking for just a person, just like
a merchant.
A merchant. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why didn't you say that the first time?
Because I rolled double ones on my smithing check.
Well, shit, dude. Shame on you. So when you do find a merchant for the same situation here, he will charge you 20 silver for his wares. Same receipt.
Okay. I will try to whittle him down a little bit.
In what fashion?
I'm going to, first I'm just going to try to negotiate it with a bit of, I'm going to try to be a nice guy, use my allure on him.
This merchant is also a male, so
that's okay. Hey, I'm an Arborian. We're sexy in any language.
Oh, I suppose. All right, yeah.
That's a 20.
That's a 20. All right. So you kind of get the feeling that he's kind of been over it for a while here. He's this older Igniad says, all right, well, how about I just knock off 2 coins for you and we'll call it good, all right?
Okay. It'd be nice if you could do 3. Good for 17.
I think 2 would be a respectful amount here.
2.5. And flutter my eyebrows at him or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Look, it's literally all I have in my purse. And I pull out the 16.5 silver I have.
He says, fine. All right, 2.5 coins then.
Okay. I'll give him the coins and get the stuff and go back to the ship.
And you're back down to being feckin' poor.
Yep.
after we leave, and as soon as we're kind of out of eyesight, Aethelridge will pull out his own coin purse and hand over about 8 silver.
All right. It's good to get in the habit of paying for your own materials. He'll take it and put it in his purse. Thank you.
Of course, you got me a better deal on a helm. What kind of friend would I be if I did not repay such a favor?
Trust me, they would have charged you at least 16 for one here in town. And this way, you get to learn how to do it yourself, so you'll always know it's good, how to fix it if it's good enough. So I guess the rest of that time, then downtime, will be fashioning a helm. I'll be showing him how to do it.
All right. 2 days from now, you guys shove off and make your way, I suppose, geographically north. You're keeping close to the shallows, so you can actually drop anchor and actually get yourselves through a storm if need be. So the monsoons here are pretty vicious. The captain comes to the crew 3 days after you guys have left, so 5 days from the night of the tiger attack. It says that you'll be stopping by a small archipelago on the way to the desert islands to meet with a friend, which kind of draws some suspicious looks from a couple of the crew. Yes, a friend. But the captain won't be harassed about such a thing. His friend is a good friend. A couple of the more senior crew give him a look like, well, but who the hell is he actually talking about? Because that could be anybody, really. After sailing with Grimnir on the Dawnthorn here, you kind of get you've gotten the impression of the guy that he knows everybody somehow. And him saying that he's meeting a friend is like, all right, okay, who's this now? You just roll your eyes and go back to what you're doing. Late one evening, Silas, you find yourself restless as you are now able to walk. You go and have yourself a midnight walk around the ship, pad footing around, possibly practicing your stealth and invasion skills, skulking here and there. Being on this ship, even if it's a good-sized ship, being a tribal Atean, you're kind of climbing the walls from time to time. So when you come topside, you catch a glimpse of the night crew, who are mostly dusk fair folk who pull the oars all through the night and then sleep during the day. You don't get to see these guys very often because they're almost always behind the locked doors of their cabins, and anything that you do hear of them during the day is probably some soft, muffled snores through the heavy wooden timbers, and the sounds of like a fey rowing song, if you will, kind of like finds your ears, and you find it to be quite soothing. And you lean against the railing there, and just kind of like take it in as these rowers are about their work. What do you do here as you kind of have the vastness of the starry sky above you? There's not a cloud in the sky at this point.
I'll probably just lean up against the railing and feel the splash of the sea spray on me and listen to this song, and hopefully it'll soothe me into a more lucid state, so that I can get some sleep. Maybe give me a little drowsy, little lullaby to let me go to sleep. So I'll just lean up against the railing and get the cool spray of mist on my face and just listen intently to this song and just take it all in.
As you're standing there taking this scene in, you actually spy Zakiti leaning up against the rail of the upper deck there, and she's kind of looking at the moon. Um, the moonlight, which is out good and full at this point, kind of radiates off of her pale white skin. What do you do there when you see her?
I guess I will go up there where she is, and I'll stand next to her and look at the moon as well.
After a few moments, she notices you, and she says, in kind of a low, kind of a low tone, not to disturb the rowers singing. She says, "Good morning."
Good morning. I just nod to her and look back up at the moon.
You guys stand there for what seems like maybe probably like an hour and a half, just looking at the moon. It's as you guys would know by now, Arklanar actually has two moons, a greater moon and a lesser moon, and you actually can't see the lesser moon tonight. And Zakiti looks up at you, and she says, the monsoon season here, down on and here on Vetruv, it's not nearly as violent. Well, no, I suppose it's more violent here than it is back home. Her voice kind of trails off there.
Where is home?
She looks back up at the moon. She was looking out at the sea, kind of like rolling ever so slightly off in the distance there. She looks back up at the moon, and then she looks like around it in the sky, and she goes, "Well, you can't see it tonight, but it's up there." And she kind of frowns.
Okay, well, Silas, I mean, he'll look up there just to make sure that he heard her correctly, that she comes from outer space. She's up there in the sky, and he just kind of looks at her like, okay, she's kind of off the deep end here, but, she's just a quiet little lowly alien thing. So he will, he'll just nod, just solemnly nod. Oh, yeah, can't see it tonight. No, yeah. Kind of thinking in the back of his head, she's lost her fucking marbles. She's bonkers. That's all he could think. I mean, someone tells me, "Oh, you can't see it. It's up there. I live up there." And he's like, "Oh, right, crazy. All right." So he'll just go kind of silent after that for a little bit because.
Oh, nice. Okay. She's gonna make a premonition test, and she actually rolled double eights. That's fantastic. So she kind of looks at you. And not in so many words, but describe for us what kind of like surface thoughts that she's just detected, like what nonsense that you're actually interpreting this as.
The Silas just thinks she's maybe touched in the head a little bit, that she is deluded. She thinks that she comes from the sky and all that. So he's kind of he kind of feels sorry for her. Like, oh, this poor thing. She's like retarded or something, like he feels like, but also at the same time, he's like, man, she's kind of crazy, I mean, maybe it's best if everybody stays away from her. I mean, she could be dangerous for all he knows, but basically he's just like, what the hell, bitch? You from the sky? He's just like, press X for doubt, basically, but at the same time, he kind of feels sorry for this This poor creature who thinks that she comes from the sky.
She she gives you a dirty, awful look. Um, and she actually speaks a bit of the Atean language, as most of the sailors are actually Atean. Um, and she goes, "I'm not crazy." She she um and she kind of just turns to you and says, "You and your folk are from here." And she just kind of like motions like from the earth.
As is most races. Yours excluded, I guess.
And she says, "Well, a long time ago, um, there's, well, my great," she's like, says great like 6 times over. Her grandmother came on a ship from the heavens, a great ship made of stone that crashed on a mountainside a long way from here. And there were monsters that came, and her people had to survive with stones and sharpened sticks. And she basically kind of describes like kind of your tribal existence, but in a different fashion. And then some bronze-skinned people with she goes ahead and she describes like people who wear a lot of eyeliner uh, come, and they took her people and she sold them into slavery, and she was a slave for quite some time. And um, then the captain came with his crew and killed all the slavers. And then she's been sailing on the Dawnthorn ever since. And she should give you a string of dates, which means you kind of crunch the numbers. She's been on this ship for about 140 cycles. So she kind of just like puts it again out there, like punctuates this whole explanation with, "No, I'm not crazy. I'm not from here. I'm just a little foreign girl on a ship amongst foreigners."
I mean, Silas, I guess he has to believe her. I mean, he doesn't know otherwise, but as far as he knows, people don't come from the sky and crash in stone ships sailing through the sky into the mountains. But what does he know? He hasn't been everywhere. So he will just sit there and listen to her, and try not to think any more thoughts that she can read his, but he doesn't know what she's capable of, so he just kind of keeps to himself like, yeah, oh sorry, yeah, you're right, sorry, I apologize. And he just kind of just sits there quietly and just looks like the moon, kind of wondering how a stone ship would even, I mean,
Fly,
how many would they have sorcerers that just levitate these stone ships through the sky? Like, where, does she live on the moon? I mean, like, there's just some thoughts that going through Silas's head. He can't wrap his head around this shit. I mean, he thought his people were bad about being, xenophobic and superstitious, and these people are coming from the fucking sky, so he didn't know what to think.
There may or may not be some insane kinship there, but you're like, all right, you're about as fucking weird as we are, so I suppose. After that story that she told you, the lucidness of um, the land of Morpheus reaches its fingers out to hopefully draw your soul back to the lands of Morpheus. And I'm assuming you actually go back to bed.
Oh yeah. After that, that was enough to tire his mind out from overthinking. His gerbil has burned out and died in his brain, and needs to recharge. So he's going to blissfully go over to the lands of Morpheus there, and just hopefully get some sleep and not dream about flying stone ships and weird alien people.
Right. But yeah, so dawn the next day, Silas has more or less his head has hit his pillow, and he wakes up or is woken up by the stirring of Aethelridge across the way from him. Um, the ship is again rousing for that day's work. Describe for us how you are about your day.
Um, yeah, I think he's going to keep trying to learn a bit on how to do the smithing, and he's going to do basically, kind of work off whatever time he has available between taking care of any of his shipboard duties that he needs to be doing. He really wants that helmet, especially with what he saw happen to Silas. And he's going, well, I mean, I've got some good mail, I have better armor, but I have nothing protecting my head.
So yeah, between that, we'll be basically repairing fittings and things like that. Some of the different pieces and such around the ship that are actually made of bronze, or in some cases, maybe even some. I don't know if the ship will actually being a ship run by a fake captain is probably all bronze. Yeah, we'll be basically going around making sure those
bronze or ebon.
Basically, I'll be part of today will be an instruction of what parts and such are actually bronze, how to judge their integrity as far as what needs to be replaced or needs to be repaired, or what we need to watch and things like that. And if we come across any buckles or anything like that that need to be repaired, take those back to our forge and fix them.
Silas, still recovering. He'll go and watch them do their blacksmithing, and since his upper armor is shredded, he's shirtless with nothing on and bandages and such. But now that his shirt is off, you can tell that he has tattoos, Atean hieroglyphics and such, all over his torso and some of his upper arms and at the base of his neck and such. But he will just lounge around the forge with them and just watch them as they do their work, as he doesn't try to distrain himself too much. He doesn't want to open up any wounds or anything. So
he'll be handed a file and some pieces that are rough, and taught how to polish rough pieces, because that doesn't really take that much strength, just repetitive.
Then I'll sit there and just file and polish stuff, just sitting there.
He is under captain's orders to. He's on light labor until his back gets sewn up, which Bruna, the cook, is also the ship's surgeon, and she did a number on his back with some thread and a huge ebon hook that she sewed his shit back up with. So it hurt. It's smarts. I mean, it tickled, man. Let me tell you. Sometime after you've been filing for a while, you take a break, and Zakiti brings you over a pipe that you can smell it before she comes over here. There is some opium in that pipe.
I'm gonna be addicted to this shit. I'm gonna be a fucking opium addict by the time it's over.
Yeah, man, she can turn you into an opium fiend. You will be leaving the church or the temple of Malgora, and you will be an opium fiend cultist of Morpheus here pretty soon. There you go. But yeah, she brings that over to you, and goes back to her desk, and you guys will probably be going about your day with just really, we're just looking at that right there. A few days of this passes. Same routine. You get your daily pipe of opium, and Silas is going to need a conditioning test to make sure he doesn't.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's an 8 there.
Oh, shit. Oh, wait.
That is a it's a 9,
Ooh.
even with an explosion.
Did you really roll an 8 and a 1?
I rolled an 8 and a 2, and I have -4. I don't have conditioning.
Oh, shit.
And then I rolled a 3 again, so yeah.
Oh, so yeah, you're starting to feel the itch.
So come on, man. I need some of that fucking opium, man. I mean, I guess I'll go to Nurse Bruno, and they'll be like, "Come on, please, give me some of the goody. Come on."
And
I'll suck your tits, man.
Oh my god. She just cocks an eyebrow at you like you will do no such thing, and you're gonna go back up topside and help Goranas with that foul mouth of you. I want you to tell Goranas what you just said.
Silas is sweating, like his hair stuck to him. If you could see his eyes, if they weren't blindfolded, his eyes would be wide-eyed, and his milky pupil just darting around. He's kind of like scratching at his neck, is picking his nails, everything. He's fidgeting. Oh, he's got it bad.
She repeats herself. You go upstairs and you tell Goranas what you said, and he can sort you out.
All right, I go up to Goranas and I tell him that I need some more of that opium. I need some of that good stuff, and I'll suck your tits, man. Give me some of that good stuff.
With the full intent that she assumed that he was going to slap the hell out of him. For
I look at Silas, tilt my head, and say, "What?"
I'm sorry. I need some of it. I need it. You got any? I need opium. I need some. I need just a little bit. Tide me over. It's itching so bad, man. It's itching. The pain. I'm hurting bad.
Go ask for some.
I did. She told me to come to you, man. She told me to come up here. I need some.
What did you say to her?
I told her I need some. I told her I'd do whatever she wants. I suck her on her titties. I don't care.
Oh, dear Lord.
I need some, Goranas. I need some.
I know you need some. So here's what you need to do. Okay. First off, I pick up one of the knives that I've been sharpening for her to take her this. Okay.
I take it. I'm shaking.
Well,
it's like a pain
now.
shaker. I'm gonna cut myself.
I want you to hold. I want you to make sure you don't run, walk. Go down there and say, "This is from Goranas." Set it on a table. Don't wave it around, but set it on one of her tables. Back away from it and say, "May I please have some of that stuff that makes me go to sleep?" And don't offer to suck anything.
I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know about these races. I don't know what they want. Okay.
Don't. Yeah, that's just wrong.
I take the knife. He's shaking. I mean, he's like, okay. And he's walking slowly, but he's trying to like fast walk. When he starts slowing down a little bit, he's just like, okay. He's too intent on this knife. He's all focused on the knife. I gotta keep the knife steady now. Hold it steady. And he just goes off. He slinks off. And he looks like freaking Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings right now. He looks like Brad Dourif. He looks his hair is a mess. It's sticking to his face. He's like, oh god, I gotta get my precious. And he's going up to go see her then.
So when you come back downstairs and she sees you with a knife,
She thinks the fucking crackhead's gonna come and shake her for some fucking opium.
You come around the fucking corner with a knife. Oh my god. Thank you, Grant. This is fucking great.
Hey man, I can't help it. I have shit conditioning and I can't handle my opium.
So now she picks up a fucking sword and she's just like, what are you planning on doing with that?
This is from Garanus. This is for and I just all my strength and concentration. I put it on the table, and it's like just shake it on the table. Like, okay, just may I please have some more of that good stuff that makes me sleep. I'm in pain. I need some opium, please.
She just kind of rolls her eyes. Just go back to your cabin. I'll bring you some opium shortly.
Oh, well, thank you. I fall on my knees and like grab onto like her dress and like thank you so much.
You in the head. Just get the fuck out.
I just give it a slink away, like hunched over, like Gollum just runs off.
So
don't do drugs, children.
Yeah, no, because you turn into Grima Wormtongue. There you go. So she comes upstairs and she gives Garanus a piece of her fucking mind. So yeah, she's up there. She
grins.
What? Just with this, the sword is still in her hand. She is now accosting you with a weapon.
Okay. He turns around, casually holding his forge hammer, and he listens. He crosses his arms and listens to her, nods, and says, "I just sent my apprentice down to deliver a blade I just sharpened for you. I mean, I can unsharpen it if you like."
In his fucking state?
That's your problem. Your fault.
It's not my fault that
Who gave him the opium?
he has poor constitution.
Who gave him the opium?
We
He
should
could have handled it.
Slightly less flustered, the tip of her sword kind of like droops to the floor, and she looks up at the upper deck, like where the captain is, and he has this wide smile, is evil smile on his face, and he says, "We'll tie him to the mast, put a rat in his mouth until he sobers up then."
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
Garanus, he snaps his fingers. You're the man on the duty. Get him. Put a rat in his mouth.
Will do. I put the hammer down. Look over to Aethelridge. Says, "Let's go."
No, I may be your apprentice, but this has nothing to do with working metal. I'm going to my cabin.
It'll be. Well, that's where I have to go anyway. Well,
So the rest of the crew just kind of like just looking on like, oh shit, oh no.
Well, Aethelridge, there's one of two possibilities here. You can help me and get him out of your cabin, or you get to be in the cabin with him.
And the captain calls up from his desk, and swimming ain't crowded, boy.
That's true.
I will go to the cabin and I will do my duty to make sure he does not escape from you and get back into his bunk.
That is fine. Well, we're going to get him up here. We're going to tie him to the mast, and we're going to make sure he sobers up. So
upside down, preferably, says the captain.
We'll do, Captain.
We're doing this, Grant.
I go grab some rope.
We've been doing this whole thing wrong. These addicts and cold turkey and detox and stuff. This is how you do it. You just tie them to a piece of wood upside down with a rat in their mouth.
It's the Arborean way. All right, so head down there. Hey, knock on the door and Hey, Silas.
He's swinging in the hammock. There, he's like he's fidgeting. He's like, "Oh, did you bring it? Did she bring it? Did she send it to you? Did you get it?"
We've got what you need upstairs.
Okay, he jumps down. He falls out of the hammock. He could jump down from the hammock. Falls face first. Gets up.
Hold on.
Sweating profusely.
Hold on. Of course, Grannis fills the whole doorway. Hold on.
He is the door.
I need you to do me something first.
Yeah.
Hold your hands out.
He holds his hands out, shaking.
Wraps the rope around his hands and ties a knot.
You see, his face. He actually gets calmed. He gets a sigh of relief, and actually,
13.
he gets a small erection as well.
That's a 13.
Oh my God.
I thought they were always small. Anyway,
Oh,
Shit.
low blow to the junkie. Oh shit!
Oh, 10-year-old Michael, this is not a
tie the
for you.
yes, that's true. So tie his hands together so that he's his hand. I rolled a 14 to tie his hands properly and make the knot good.
There you go. Okay.
And I take him upstairs, up to the deck, over to the main mast. I say, stand here and put your back against the mast. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I look around.
Joke, Garanis.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't want his head to explode. He's
okay. So I need to tie him with standing up. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. He just hand waves at you.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. So he basically going to tie him to the mast, standing up. He says, "Okay, stay right here. I'm going to deal with it."
Okay. You gonna bring it? You gonna bring it? She
Yeah.
gonna bring it?
Yep, sure are.
Okay.
All right.
That's a deception test, by the way.
Do I get a bonus of anything?
No, he gets a -4 penalty.
Okay, that's a 7.
That's
oh Jesus.
that's premonition.
Yes, premonition.
Okay, so that is a 13, 14, 15. That's a 11.
Okay,
All right.
so let me do my knots test real quick to make sure I tied him properly to the mast. Okay, that's a 12.
There you go.
So yeah, obviously I'm lying. By that roll.
Hey. No. Come on. I need it. Why you do this to me? I start shaking, trying to, what is this? Where's it at? I need it. I start trying to climb the mast with the rope, like shimmy my way up there.
Well, your hands are tied in front of you, so.
I like to use friction to just like eat the rope away. Like, come on, please, come on. I need it. You understand? It's tugging and I'm freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Wait for me to calm
tugging
down.
on the big wood. That's the way to go. For making that joke.
So yeah, shake my head and say, "You'll be better soon." And go over and start going back to sharpening knives, basically.
So I guess Silas is just wailing at the top of his lungs and offering any sort of services to anyone who will give him some of the good stuff to stop him from itching and hurting. Then he'll start cursing everybody, telling everybody to fuck off, and then he'll be like, "I'm sorry, please, give me some fucking drugs, please, anything." And then he does that until he just passes out, I guess.
Yeah, Aethelridge will walk up to him and be like, "I've got something for you." And as soon as Silas opens his mouth to be like, "Yes," he'll stuff one of his spare bandages in his mouth.
It's like, and I mean, Silas just wears himself out, with his bandage in his mouth and tied to a thing, baking under the sun. He just sits there, and then eventually his body just slumps down on, just on the ground. The mask. He's like, and he's just passed out. The whole dried, crackhead lips and everything.
Well.
So after that, go back to finishing the duties of the ship. Probably said sharpening the rest of her knives. Probably making sure there's probably a couple bill hooks need to be repaired. And kept up. So that's basically what we'd be doing is most of the days is keeping up the tools and such. So sharpening the carpenter's axe and his stuff like that.
Okay. So, Grant, you're gonna be tied to that mast for really all of your detox, quite literally.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting here in my own filths and just yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think we'll take ourselves a 10-minute break here, and we'll be back with the next scene here. All right, we'll be right back, everybody. I tell you what, Keith. I like black sails because, well, really, for anything for me when it comes to like video games, TV shows, books, or what have you. I mean, this actually doesn't apply to books, but if a thing of a visual media thing has a good story and a good soundtrack to it, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple nights ago, I saw Black Sails free on Amazon until the end of this month. I was like, oh shit, Keith's been saying that a bunch of shit about that. I should probably watch that. And so I turned this on, and I'm like, I listened to the theme song, and I'm like, oh,
I love the theme song.
oh, I've had that song stuck in my head for days now.
Yeah, the opening is visually stunning too.
Oh yeah, with the ship figureheads and the statues. Oh yeah.
It is gorgeous.
That is some shit right there. Whatever they did a damn good job.
Oh yeah.
And we're back. So
for Mad Space.
Right. Thank you, Keith.
Start the song, trust me.
So, Grant, how long has Silas been in detox? You tell us.
I mean, he failed his conditioning roll, but he didn't crit fail it. So let's say he's out there for like a couple of days, just tied up to the mast before he finally comes to his senses, I guess. And his survival instincts overtake his crackhead instinct. So,
you have not bathed in those days. We'll say about 4 to 6 days. How about that?
I'll once a day I'll throw a bucket of seawater on him because just you got to be.
Oh yeah, you, my buddy,
and
taking care of me.
Wind.
Maple Ridge probably would have at least given him water, even if out of a level of you don't leave a teammate just that way.
Oh no! I mean, he's up there tied to the mast, and like the rowers of the ship are within 10 feet of him on all sides. So they actually are subjected to the songs of his people through the entirety of this detox. Your fellow Atayans hate you for a good 3.5 days.
I hate myself. Okay, I mean I can't help it. It's like near the last 2 days, he finally just goes into an almost comatose state that he just gives up from the energy and he goes back to his senses, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" I don't know. I just want to forget what happened. Like,
one of these lucid instances where you are on the edge of consciousness and halfway. Kind of like you're dipping your toes into the pool that is the lands of Morpheus here. You have your feet dangling in the water. I need you to make a sight test for me, please.
a sight test. All right.
You're calling upon your instinctive Atayan mysticism here.
So that is a 14.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, due to this, even this slight misjudgment of, I suppose, partaking of the milk of the poppy, the goddess is very displeased with you.
I mean, I'm displeased with myself too. So I mean, I failed her. I'm gonna have to make it up to her somehow. Oh man, crackers.
On the afternoon of the 5th day, you are untied from the mast, and because this It's actually the first time that someone's actually been unruly on the ship. You are flogged. You are disciplined by someone that the crew votes on. And this time, unfortunately, Garanus has been voted into being the whippadair of this disciplinary action.
All right. I'll do it, but I'll be gentle with him.
It's going to open up those old wounds. I'm going to be bleeding like a stuck pig.
That is true. I would argue that since he was just seriously injured, and this was him being tied to the mast. I mean, that's. I will ask for leniency from the crew and the captain for that, since he was tied to the mast for 4 days. And I'll use my allure to do it too because I'm sexy.
Yeah, because you're sexy. That's not going to work on the captain. The captain.
No. That's a 22.
The captain does not want to have sex with you, Keith. I'm sorry.
Okay, fine.
No preferential treatment for the blacksmith. No. The captain will grant him leniency. As opposed to 24 lashes, he will only get 12 with a non-barbed whip.
All right. Thank you very much, Captain, for your generosity and having pity upon this poor soul.
Oh, poor soul indeed. And he says, "Now, Silas, we have all been subjected to the tears of the dream flower, or the poppy, or the milk of the opium, or the seed of Morpheus on multiple occasions. Everyone does this. Everyone has been beaten for it. You are now one of us. Garanus, his back is at your mercy.
I will whoop him. I will do so with proper vigor, but not announce more than necessary.
No, don't kill him.
Yeah. So do I need to make a roll for that, or
no? What we're gonna do is I want you to narrate what you'll be doing, and once we're done with that, we will go for soliloquies.
All right.
So Keith, go ahead and narrate what you're about to do.
So,
then you can go into your soliloquy, and then Grant will be up next.
So, Garanus will take the. I guess it's probably a cat that you're going to use.
It's a cat of 9, yeah.
Yeah, the non-hooked cat. Take it from Balin as the first mate. He would be the one who would have that. Gathers the crew around. Make sure that everyone's there to watch what happens with this situation. The captain made his speech. Granus walks up to the range, pulls the cat tight so that he knows it's not going to come flying apart at the first shot. Places his, of course, being Arborean, he's left-handed. That's the normal for them. Places his hand, the tips of his fingers, in the middle of Silas's back and right between his shoulder blades to give himself a proper ranging. Takes a half step back, rears back, and he says, "Do you want to know when the first one's coming, Silas?"
No, just get it over
It's
with.
him as he's saying it. First shot goes right as he's saying. He says no. So the cat comes flying forward and whap right across the back, leaving the whelps and such across those freshly bestowed scars of the tiger's claws. He rears back again and tries to go a little lower, this time along the lower back, and strikes him there. And as he's doing this, he counts 1, 2, hits him again, 3, 4. It's okay to scream, Silas. 5.
Grant, I'm gonna need a conditioning test for you to stay.
Well,
with.
I'm going to scream like a little bitch because I have no
That's okay.
conditioning.
That's okay.
So
You
that's
might
a Z.
pass out.
That's a 0 on conditioning.
Okay.
Wait, what? Really?
I rolled a 4 and I have a -4.
Oh shit! Yeah, you pass out. You.
Stop. Someone throw some water over his head.
The
Aethelridge will do it.
Okay.
the captain holds his hand up and he says he's had enough.
As you wish, Captain.
Back to work.
Okay. He'll hand the cat back to Balin and go over and untie Silas, and he will himself pick him up and take him to his cabin to rest.
And with that, Keith, give us a soliloquy as you are carrying Silas down to the hold.
So since we left Far Point, the town, and I first met these two, well, really got to know them. I've seen them on the ship before, but really got to know them. He thinks he definitely, when it comes to Etheridge, he thinks he's judged him right. He seems to be an Arborian who has a sense of honor. Yeah, sure, he's, he wants things. He's avaricious, but then again, that's his religion. Can't really hold a man's religion against him in those situations. But he has proven a strong companion. He comported himself well against that big freaking cat and drove it off. And then his immediate, after that, his immediate concern was for his fallen comrade. That showed true honor and true loyalty. Two things that Uranus holds very dear to himself. This little fella he's carrying, and he still thinks of Silas as a little fella because, compared to him, he's a small guy. Of course, average sized person, but still, like this kid is showing, as he sees in his mind, a kid, because all mortals are basically kids to him. He shows some grit. He'd never seen anyone stand up and actually stare down Ateans the way he did those fellows in the bar, especially when it comes to religion. That's a rare thing making Atean back down on. And then, to survive that attack by the cat, sure, the opium thing, that felled him a bit, but then again, that's something that's pretty common among sailors. It happens when you get hurt. You get a little bit too much of the poppy, and next thing you know, you're wanting more and more of it. And it did bring a smile and a giggle to his mind when he heard about him going down and offering sexual favors for it to the cook of all people. But he takes lays Silas down on the mat that he has there in the side of his little room. Looks over at Aethelridge and tells him, "You two are welcome to stay here if you want, since you're my apprentices. We can share this room. It's a little bigger, not by much, but a bit bigger." And he goes back to his duties, picks up the next item he has to look at, checks it out, and begins filing an edge.
So, as Silas lays there on the mat, unconscious from the amount of pain that he endured, he has these dreams of Malgora and how she is in extreme suffering, and it's even more so because of his dishonorable actions. How he has just dishonored himself. He's lowered himself, debased himself, and he has these nightmares during this extremely fitful rest that he has here, and he's just eaten with guilt and anger at his own inability to fight back these urges. He's had alcohol, sure, but this was the first time he's ever tasted opium, and he is not as hardy as the Arborians and the other sailors who are become accustomed to it, and he he hates himself for what happened, how he let himself happen, and he's going to have to work doubly hard to repay the the goddess in kind, and also he's going to have to work doubly hard to earn back, in his eyes, the respect of the crew. He acted in such a debased manner that he just acted like a straight fiend, and he he has to earn back his honor and respect, and in his eyes, and he will just keep reliving that same nightmare over and over about the goddess being disappointed in him and his own failings and shortcomings and what happened, and all through his slumber. And he would just think that what he has to do, he has to work doubly hard now to regain what respect he had to his peers and pay back their generosity.
You're up, John.
Yeah, so Aether Ridge is kind of an interesting place. He kind of expected that he and Goranis were going to keep butting heads and keep butting heads, and um, the offer to be an apprentice really kind of took him off guard. But he thought there was a nice symmetry in there that instead of butting heads and beating each other, they're going to work together and beat other stuff. Um, Metal bandits, tigers, whatever, So he thought there was a pretty good symmetry there. In some ways, he's kind of I wouldn't say necessarily disappointed in not having that fight in the tavern, but he kind of did miss the opportunity to crack a few heads and basically show the town of what he would kind of consider almost natural enemies um, to fear him, since they're fire fae and he's kind of a wood fae. He kind of wanted to show him who his boss a little bit, but he also wasn't going to go out of his way to start anything. He remembered the last time that something happened, and the captain and them were kind of like, well, we don't know about this. You need to. So he didn't want to start anything, but he was kind of looking forward to an opportunity to. When trouble wanted to find him, he was more than happy to welcome it with an open axe. Um, as far as Silas is concerned, he likes the guy. Um, he's not really sure what to make of somebody who got kind of hopped up on opium. He's never encountered opium himself before, so he's kind of going, is that going to be my fate if I get to that point? Am I going to have something like that? He's really, really not sure what to make of the whole stuffing a rat in somebody's mouth. He's a little I wouldn't say squeamish about it, but he's definitely kind of giving it the side eye and going, I don't know about that. So, but he's glad that Silas is getting better, even if in the moment he couldn't quite bring Silas all the way back around. He's glad to see Silas up and running, or at least hobbling.
Oh, beautifully said. Um, after that, the kind of a somber few days will trail after this after Silas's beating, and they will be not so many words. They will give Silas a silent opportunity to make right his transgressions. Um, anything from for the rowers during the day to like fetch them their water or their daily bread or what have you. And possibly pulling a double shift and doing the same for the night crew who sings and rows in the moonlight, things like that. Making sure that Bruna, the cook, has everything that she needs for her day, having her prep done, fetching and taking things here and there.
Yeah, I apologize to her profusely for my my actions. I wasn't in my right mind. That wasn't me. That was the drugs talking.
She forgives you for that, and she thanks you for your apology. But there, we will call it here for the evening, a little bit early for the night. But we will be back next time, next week, same time. Thank you for showing up, everybody. You guys have a wonderful night.